Hello, everybody. What's going on? Welcome back to the Reddit Asks Us podcast. Now, before we head into the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like, remember to comment, and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating and also please leave us a review. If you want to reply to one of the questions that we do here on the show, go to my YouTube channel at Reddit Asks Us and comment your comment under the most recent episode, and I will read that comment out loud on the following episode in the next week. So if you have something to say, don't be shy and go ahead and comment that. So today I'm joined here with my sister Elena. We haven't done this in a while, but I don't know. It's fun to do. It's fun to do something like a duo. You know, I do this podcast all alone a lot most of the time, and I feel like when you do it with other people, you can just share your thoughts. And there's more conversation to be had. So thanks for coming on the show, Lena.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been about a year and a half, I think, since I was here last, and it was a different show at that time. So
have you ever done it under the new format?
No, I'm excited.
Okay, all right. So Lena's never done it under the new format here. So we're gonna be reading off these comments and responding. So shout out to everybody, and why don't we just get right into it? So this week's episode is, what is something people do in public that gets under your skin?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, something about this one, like you pointed this out, and just made me think that it's just like, I say this all the time, but I'm one of those people who thinks that you think everyone's normal because you're normal. And then you go and you see some people do something in public, and you just think like, where do you come from? Like, where did you grow up? Like, this is so, like, where did you learn this behavior?
Right.
You know what I mean?
This is acceptable.
Exactly. It just seems like, so I don't know. Sometimes people amaze me in their behavior.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear these comments.
So the first one comes here from Commander and Master. Oblivious to their position or how they're blocking an entire aisle.
Oh my God. I have a story about this.
Okay.
But is that the comment?
Yeah, but there's some other replies, but we can read after you've explained your story.
Yeah. So, this has happened multiple times. Not that this is like, I'm sure people have stories that are very similar, but if I'm remembering, I could be combining two stories into one, but I think this is how it goes. So my boyfriend and I were at Home Depot, and you know, at Home Depot they have like the flat carts, like if you have large items. Mm-hmm. So that's what we had, and so it takes up a lot of space, and I don't remember if it was a woman or a couple standing like directly in the middle of the aisle, and
those aisles are big enough for like people to be on either side.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't directly in the middle. It was wherever it was. I think it was in like a smaller section, so she had to move in order for us to go by. Like, we couldn't go around her. And it just blew my mind that we had to ask, "Excuse me." I don't even know if we did. I feel like we were just like, fuck, this is so annoying. Let's just go down a different aisle. But it blows my mind that like she made eye contact with us and was looking at us, and I'm like, how do you not see that you were directly in the way?
And it's like, and they give you that kind of look where it's almost like they just look at you
like
with
you're
this, a blank
inconveniencing
stare. Yeah,
them.
Like it's just like, so what about it? Like, what am I? You
Yeah.
know, oh my God. And it's like, do you not see that? Like, you don't own the store.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not your domain. Like,
yeah.
people. This is a public place. Okay, this is a business that we all need to use. It's not just like, oh, you're building a deck, so your deck takes precedence over everyone else's.
I want to hear the rest of the comments there.
What you said kind of reminded me of something, but this isn't people blocking the aisle. But I thought this was just funny, but when the Halifax had the hurricane there, Hurricane Fiona came through
Mm-hmm.
Halifax. This is just like aisle story, but Keaton, my roommate, he's like 6'7". He's like really tall, and we went to the grocery store because we wanted to stock up on some food before, just
right, in case.
Well, and it's like, it's like a weekend in or whatever it was. I think it was happening on a weekend, so we were kind of just like, whatever. let's get some chips, let's get some candy and stuff, and just
hang out,
hunker in for the week.
Yeah.
And the grocery store, by the time we had gotten there, had just been so cleaned out of almost everything, and there were only chips on the very top row of the aisle grocery store. And so we're walking, Keaton of course grabs the chips for us, and we're walking out of this aisle, and some girl yells at Keaton and goes, "Hey!" And so we're kind of just like we're looking around like, do you know anyone here?
Right.
And this girl's just like, "Hi there, hi." And so we're like, "Hi." And she's like, "Can you get the chips for us on the top row?" Of course, because he's super tall, and so he's just like,
so he could reach them.
Exactly. But it was so funny just because I was like, I'd never been in that situation before. I'd never been in like with somebody who's that tall, and he's just like, you'd be surprised at how often this actually happens.
Oh, I bet. Somebody asked me the other day, like a couple weeks ago at the grocery store, she asked me to grab something from the top shelf, and I'm not that tall.
You seem like you're tall though. Everybody like because when I was with our little cousins or whatever, they were like, "Is Elena taller than you?" And I'm like, "You're 10. Like, you're literally so tiny. How do you already notice that stuff like that?" But no, for the record, Lena's not taller than me.
No.
But she appears tall. She's got
guess.
long legs.
Doesn't feel that way, but all right.
But yeah, so anyways, there's a reply here from let's go, service call 1986. Yeah, the worst one is person A knows person B, so they're just having a conversation in the middle of the aisle. They're just completely oblivious to you and act like it's an inconvenience when you ask them to please move. It's like, that was kind of just what you were talking about.
So this is how I feel too about, sometimes it's depending on the area and whatnot, but when people do this in their vehicles, in the street. Like,
oh yeah, they're
just
a pedestrian. They just pull over.
Yeah,
this
they're
happened.
having a full-on conversation,
Yep.
and like if there was more room, I would totally understand. Yeah, like you see someone flag them down, talk. But when you're there, it's a one lane kind of thing. People are pulling over so the other person can pass, and you've now parked and stopped and had a conversation. Like, park your car and get out then, or
it's like, is that conversation also too? Like so this happened to me and my buddy Sam when we were in his hometown in Perth, and they're just people, and like, okay, listen, I get it's a smaller town, a couple thousand people, you see somebody,
right,
or whatever, it's, you pull over and say hi, whatever. But it's like, they don't just say hi. It's how's the family? How are the kids?
Right, they're having a conversation.
Like, you live 2 blocks away from them. Why don't you just go to their house? Like, why don't you just be like, "Hey, good to see you. Let's catch up. Are you free later for coffee or something?" Like, you don't need to have your whole dinner table conversation in the middle of the road. Like, the road one is honestly worse than the grocery store one, because the road is like, now that's
you can't make your way around it. The grocery store, it's like, fuck, I'll pick a different aisle. I'll come back to this one later.
Yeah.
But yeah, the road one's
the road
annoying.
is like, okay, this conversation like can't be that important. You
right.
know what I mean?
I'm in a hurry and you need to move.
Exactly. Reply from Fast I am not. Sorry, the I looked like an L. Or let their wobbly toddler walk during the shopping rush and then stand there giggling, telling them to move so everyone can get by, which of course they can't because they're babies and they don't understand. It's not cute. Just pick up your kid, please. That's like the 2 or 3-year-olds, because that's the worst thing too, is that they are wobbly, so they shake from side to side when they walk. So you don't want to go around because they might just, gravitate towards that way,
right,
and then you might just knock them over.
I haven't really had that experience before.
Like where babies are in the... Oh, I've seen it all the time. People just who like who are shopping, and it's like the 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old. 5-year-olds maybe less, because 5-year-olds can actually kind of walk. But like,
I would hope
yeah,
so.
but I mean, like they have more motor control. You know what I mean? But it's the younger ones though. It's like they're too little to like wear on your chest. It's not a baby. You know what I mean? They're too little for a lot of carrying type things. Or
I just assume they would be in the cart.
That's what I would think, right? But some people use that to put their groceries in. But I don't know. Sometimes I've just seen like, I don't want to be judging these people because I don't exactly know them, but maybe like maybe not the most attentive parents just like leave their kids to wander around the store, and it's like, it feels like really like you don't have any concern for your little child that's just wobbling around here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So reply here from Pumpkin Thighs says, I work at Walmart doing pickup and delivery, so I'm one of those people walking around with those big carts. Most everyone notices me and moves, but every once in a while you get someone standing there with their cart in the middle of the aisle. Then I try to get their attention with an excuse me. They don't bother to move, and when I move their cart slightly or manage to squeeze past them, they glare as if I'm the problem. It's like, I work here.
Yeah, I'm trying to do my job.
This is my job. Like, I can kick you out. You know, I can remove you from the store. That's one place where you get to say, this is my domain.
Right.
I'm the alpha omega here. Okay, so let's move on here. Another thing that people do in public that it's annoying, watching TikToks or videos loudly, like just off the speaker on their phone. Have you ever ran into anyone who's done that?
Honestly, I don't think so.
It's more common on like public transit.
Well, I was thinking about like New York, but a lot of the times, like anytime I notice, everyone wears headphones. So,
but that's what makes it so like confusing is everyone should wear headphones. Everyone like there's even.
But I'm saying like I haven't really noticed it because everyone was wearing headphones.
Oh, I've seen it at like even at school. Like people would just like sit there, and TikToks for some reason are more loud than any other media that you watch on your phone. It's for some reason it's the songs. So people will just be like sitting there on their phones playing TikTok for all to hear, and then they'll just be like,
oh God,
just laughing at their phone, and it's like you can get like dollar store headphones.
Right.
No one's saying that you need to have Apple AirPods Pro.
Right.
You know, like just grab a pair of headphones. It feels like one of those things that's inconsiderate.
Common courtesy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Creative T269.
That would annoy me on an airplane.
Just wait.
Okay.
Creative T269 says, we have a girl that does this in the bathroom at work. More than once, I've thought about turning off the light on my way out. You're sitting in the stall like, next to them just watching TikToks. Peachy Boba, there was this girl who did this there was a girl who did this in our only break room at work. She watched them full volume, then laughed incredibly loud at almost every single one of them. I've never hated someone so much for something so petty. Because I guess in reality, it's not like the biggest deal in the world.
No, but also you're on your break at work. Like you don't want to be listening to somebody else on their phone laughing. I don't know. It's annoying.
The headphones thing though, it's like even on your break at work, like, do you not have a pair of headphones you can stick in your pocket?
I know.
Quars, I literally cannot wrap my head around this. I understand that some people are rude and don't care about others. That's not the confusing part. What's crazy to me is that these people don't care that everyone around them knows what they're watching. It would be like if I had a group of strangers standing behind me, watching me browse and comment on Reddit, like projecting it off of your phone.
Yeah.
I can understand a rare psychopath that you may run into once in a blue moon who just doesn't care what people think about their viewing choices. But why is it so common these days?
Yeah, that's strange.
I feel like the TikTok brain kind of does that.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, next one. Dan1101 says, people who keep passing me, then slowing down so I have to pass them. I'm on cruise control going the same speed all the time. Pick a speed. We don't need all this lane changing.
Oh my God. This was a couple months ago. And I've never had an experience where I was more irritated than this. I've done the drive to Regina from Moose Jaw and Moose Jaw to Regina like many, many, many times. And most people are good. Some people can be pretty stupid. But yeah, this one time I was driving, I was on cruise, set it, whatever, 118. And...
kilometers, that is, for my American listeners, not miles per hour. That is insanely fast.
And they pass me, and then it start going probably 80. So I'm like, Jesus. So I don't change my speed or anything. Just change my lane, end up passing them. And then they're then again flying by me, probably going at least 130. And this happened probably 7 times. And I was like,
the same person?
Yes. I was like,
God.
Are you fucking kidding me? What are you doing?
Like how old was their car?
I don't remember what it looked like. I just got so irritated and angry.
How long ago was this?
A couple months ago.
Because the thing is, I mean, that's, first of all, that's extremely annoying, and it would be for any vehicle, but some older vehicles don't have cruise control.
I get that. That's fine. But 80 to 130 many times, and it's embarrassing now. It feels like, do you not realize what you're doing? Because I'm embarrassed for you.
Yeah, no,
and
that's
now
true.
I feel like it's my fault.
That's a hazard.
Because I
like
keep passing you.
Somebody must be confused. Like, that's not a normal driver. If you're doing that,
No.
like you're either distracted or you have some sort of like reason
Something's
that you
going
shouldn't
on.
be on the road.
Yeah.
But the thing is about it's like, if you don't have cruise control, I understand, but most modern vehicles have cruise control. I'd say that most of the vehicles that you see driving on the road right now are no older than like 2005. If you see vehicles older than that, you say, oh, that's an older vehicle. You know what I mean? And I'd say most vehicles after then, most have cruise control.
This wasn't a car. Like, I think it was a car, and it wasn't something that I was like, oh, they wouldn't have cruise. Like, it was, from what I remember, it was like within the last 10 years, probably.
But I'm like, even if you're driving on the highway, like I don't understand, why wouldn't you use cruise control?
I don't understand why people don't either.
It's so dumb. It's like,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, my foot gets sore.
No, 100%. And I can't keep because I remember when I drove across Canada with Mom, and there were sections on the highway that changed speed limits so frequently,
Right.
Because you're constantly going through towns, so it just got annoying to constantly
Take
be turning
cruise
on and
off,
off cruise
yeah.
control. So I was driving with my foot, and I just remember like I was getting carpal tunnel like after like an hour or so. I was like in my foot, and I'm like, geez, this
It
fucking
hurts.
like, how did people drive before cruise control, like long distances? I'm like, this sucks. Like, oh my God, I'm getting sore here because of this.
I know.
Like if it feels more advantageous to use cruise control and to not use, like, this happens to me all the time in Halifax, where I'm driving on like Bedford Highway and stuff like that, and people don't have a consistent speed. And it's like, you're driving a fucking 2018 Lexus. Like, there's absolutely no reason why I should be passing you 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm going the same speed. It's locked in. Like, because I know there's not an issue with me. You
Right.
know?
Yeah. I can't possibly be the problem.
No, absolutely not. There's no fucking way.
Okay, let's go.
So next one comes from Coffee Lover Chick. People who litter.
Oh, fuck.
That's my pet peeve. Even in my car. I remember in high school getting
I
super mad at my friends for littering in my car.
hate littering so much.
And the thing is we live in such a time nowadays that there's no reason why you shouldn't throw something in the garbage. There's literally a garbage can anywhere.
I just cannot wrap my mind around when I'm driving and I see somebody throw something out their window. Like, you can't wait to go. I'm sorry. It blows my mind. You can't wait for a garbage? Why can you
we
not?
have to tell the story.
The dad one.
The dad story. I was thinking about this. Okay, go ahead. Tell it.
No, you tell the story.
No. You're the guest. You tell it. Do you remember it?
I think so. You can fill in the gaps of whatever I'm missing.
Okay.
Where were we to start off?
We were in a parking lot. I think it was in maybe Prince Albert or something. It was in like the parking lot of
Yeah,
Canadian Tire or something like that.
Saskatoon or PA or something like that. We were in this parking lot, and I think maybe we were coming home from Winnipeg or like a camping trip.
Yeah, something like that.
We had been on the road for a while.
Yeah, for something like that. So tensions were high.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody was on edge. Everyone was hungry. And so we're in this parking lot, and this woman, she walks out of the store and she goes to her vehicle and she opens the trunk, and she starts grabbing all of this garbage that's in her trunk and throwing it on the
It's like all
ground.
fast food containers, like all like McDonald's bags, Wendy's bags and stuff. And keep in mind, it wasn't just her
Boxes.
trunk. It was the side doors and her
my God.
full doors. It was
She
just
was just like, it was like the ground was a garbage can. She was taking everything out and just throwing it down, like not setting it there so that she could pick it up and actually throw it out. It was like, this is my garbage and I'm throwing it out. And all of us were just like flabbergasted, like, is this happening right now?
I've
and it
never
was in the
seen
middle
anything
of
like
the
that in my
day.
entire life. It was broad daylight, like literally broad daylight.
I
Couldn't have been
know.
more than like 2 p.m.
Like, I'm sorry. When did this become an okay thing to do? So
It never was. Like,
right. Yeah.
Like I literally, I like, I'm seriously like, please, listeners, if you have seen something like this, please,
Write it
comment.
in.
Yeah, comment into
I
the
wonder
show.
where that woman is now
Well,
and what she's doing. Anyways, so our dad was like absolutely fucking
Was
not.
livid.
And he weaved his way through the parking lot to get to her car so that she didn't see where he was coming from,
he
or where
parked a
he
little
was
bit away, yeah.
or where he was going to walk back to, because he knew this probably isn't going to go well. And
She wasn't alone. Remember, there was the dude in the passenger,
passenger
seat.
seat, right? So she gets in her car or whatever.
Bold for dad to go alone.
Yeah. And like makes his way up to her window, and I don't know that really then what happened. Like, did he knock on the window?
Yeah, he knocked on her window. They were both sitting in there, and he just knocked on her window.
And then I think he just like lost it on her.
Yeah, he yelled pig.
I didn't remember that part.
No, he literally, it's so funny because we are watching this from a distance,
Right.
So like we're kind of just like watching dad do this, so we didn't know what he was doing,
Right.
and so he like knocks on her window, and then he just throws his arms up in the air, and it's being super like animated, and then and he kind of walks around the parking lot like out of sight, and then it comes back to our vehicle.
Yeah.
He sits down, and we're like, "What did you say?" And he was just like, "Called her a pig." He just like knocked on her. This is what he said. He was like, "Well, I knocked on her window. I held up the garbage, and I was like, pig."
Oh my
How
God.
insulting is that? Like, you literally only have to say that one word,
Yeah.
and that's gonna just set her off. Like he said they didn't
But how could you? You know you're in the wrong. You just threw all the garbage you
Yes.
had in your vehicle on the ground in the middle of a parking lot. You can't tell me that the front of that store that you just came out of doesn't have a garbage bin outside.
No, it's a parking lot of like an outdoor mall. Like there's the giant garbage cans. There's like the ones where they throw the business garbage into.
Yeah.
Like these are not far away. And the thing is this lady, she must have known that like she must have like, you can't do that and then be shocked when someone confronts
Calls you out on it, yeah.
Like you can't be just be like, "Oh, how dare you?" It's
Right.
like, pig. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, you're the one who's a pig. But yeah, that was funny. So, and Toravan comments and says, "Agreed. Everyone who needs to hear it, cigarette butts count."
Yep.
Isn't it just gross when you see a sidewalk just littered in cigarettes? Like, holy crap. So, when me, Sam, and Elias went to Toronto, and we did our little getaway there, a little vacay, we went to this bar one night that we had kind of heard like, oh, it was interesting. It was a cool bar. It was like a college bar. We go there. It was just like, I don't know, it was just weird vibes. And this place was a freaking, oh my God, I've never been in a place like this. The bar was like a house, like a very large house. Like they had almost taken a house and redesigned it into a bar. And it was in an odd location too. Like it was almost close to a residential area. Like it was like 1 block away from a residential area. So it was like a main street here. And then it's like there's some side streets before you get really into the downtown area. No, it's not downtown area, but it's a different area of it's kind of by the colleges over in Toronto. And it's one of the streets before you kind of get into that downtown area. So farther you go down towards downtown, there's a little bit of residential areas, and the bar was kind of on a first block there. So it was almost like they repurposed this house into a bar,
Right.
and but it was huge. It was massive, or they built the bar and made it look like a house. I don't know, but this bar, I swear to God, was a fucking labyrinth. Like it was impossible to find your way out. Like you go downstairs that lead to a whole different room where there's like a whole different vibe going on. It's like a jazz area, and like people are
weird.
Yeah, I know, it was so strange. So I had to go to the bathroom. So I found my way to the first of all, finding the bathroom was impossible. Like I was like cuz the one that was upstairs where we were was just way too filled with people to even use. So I was like, I got to find a different bathroom.
Yeah.
So I'm just walking circles around this fucking Dumbledore of a house, and then so I or Harry Potter castle, that's what I meant. I don't know what the castle is called.
Dumbledore of a house.
Yeah, I don't know. The Harry Potter castle, that's what I'm thinking in my head. And so I find this bathroom in the very basement, and then I have to walk back up. It's like buried into the ground. Like it's like a basement like into the ground. Not just the first floor of this place.
Okay.
And so I go back upstairs.
Hogwarts.
Then. Yeah, Hogwarts. There we go.
I don't know why that took me so long.
Dumbledore of a house. As you guys can tell, I might not be the biggest Harry Potter fan, so I wouldn't know. But anyways, so yeah, I go to this this back up, and then in order to get out, I have to pass through this like jazz area. And I finally am like, it's like I'm like in the tunnel and I can see the light. I'm like, holy shit, this is my way out. Like, I got to get out of this place. And I'm all alone, and the only exit from this place is this super thin alleyway with people lined on either side just ripping cigarettes. It's literally cigarette alley. Like, that's what I was thinking while I was like in
Diagon Alley.
Yeah, Diagon Alley, but with cigarettes. Like, it was disgusting. Like, you have to walk through this
This is in
alley.
the building.
No, this is just outside. This is outside.
Okay.
But people are lined on either side of this wall of this alleyway. And it's a thin alleyway. Couldn't have been any thinner than from, I don't know. What do you think the distance is from this bed to the wall?
A couple feet.
Yeah, like, I don't know, 4 feet. Couldn't have been any larger than that. 3.5, 4 feet long for wide, and people just hanging out, smoking cigs, and like as you were walking through, you just have puffs of cigarette smoke. People are blowing it in your face.
Ew.
The ground is just you're not even walking on ground. It's literally cigarette butts.
Yeah,
like it was disgusting. I that was one of my worst experiences ever with that. Okay, so this is an interesting story. Pineapple Princess 13 says, I worked at a Taco Bell as a teenager, and one day I was working the drive-thru, and this man was at the window, and I could smell his cigarette smoke. As he drove off, I could still smell it very strongly, so I looked out the little window, and he had dumped his whole ashtray out of the door right in front of our drive-thru. The audacity.
that is disgusting.
That's foul. At the drive-thru, like, they put garbage cans at the end of drive-thrus. Like, dump your cigarettes in the garbage. Like, that is so disgusting, especially places where people order food. Now, the next person who pulls up,
it's going to smell that. Gross.
That's disgusting.
And somebody else has to come and pick that up now. All right, let's move on.
Okay. Next one here is Cornelius Waffle Boat says, groups that walk 5 wide on the sidewalk chatting away like they're the main characters. Being on the larger side, I relish the times I see a group like this coming. If they don't part for me, it's like slow bowling. Yeah, okay, the next one was talking on speakerphone. Do you ever run into people in public talking on speakerphone?
No.
So this was the plain one. So that was from Frizzy Cumin. The reply from O'Doyle's Banana says, I'm a flight attendant, and the amount of people that do this on flights is astounding. You'd think being in a very small space with other people directly around you would make someone have some half-decent manners, but no. They don't care if the entire plane has to listen to their music or movie. Fortunately, it's in the rules that you must use headphones, so I always tell them to use headphones or mute the audio. Sometimes they'll ask if we have any, which we do not, and then they occasionally ask how they are supposed to watch their movie, to which then I tell them to read the captions. Yeah, that's
you should have brought headphones then.
Yeah. And
I feel like most airlines have headphones now, though. I think you have to purchase them, but...
Well, the thing is too though is that we live in a country where there's like only 2 airlines.
Yeah.
So in the States, they've got a
Oh.
million different airliners. So, and I mean, I feel like I don't think the cheaper ones do. Have you ever flown Swoop or Lynx before? Yeah, so like Swoop is more common like towards the east.
Okay.
And it's like the budget airlines, and they basically buy all the old planes from Air Canada and WestJet.
Okay.
But they're like a budget thing. Like they charge you for having a carry-on. Yeah, you're literally only allowed one. It's not you're not even allowed a carry-on. You're allowed one personal item, which is like a purse or something. And then if you want a carry-on, like something you stick in the above compartment, you have to pay for that. So I don't think that they sell headphones.
I just thought of another pet peeve. When it doesn't matter if you're on, it's mostly either airplane or movie theater seat, and somebody is kicking it.
Oh,
That drives me up the wall.
no, I have friends who will Snapchat during movies.
No,
Like flash with the
No.
flash on.
that's so rude.
It's like, really?
You
like
paid for this movie. Why are you on your phone?
This is what I think. Like I have some friends too who are like, while we're even watching a movie, like at our house, they'll like be on their phone. A movie that they suggest.
Right.
I'm like, they'll be like, oh, I really wanted to watch this movie. Next thing you know, they're just staring at their phone the whole time. Like,
I'll pick a different movie
yeah,
then.
why am I watching the movie that you want to watch if you're gonna be on your fucking phone the whole time?
Nathan and I
frustrates
went
me.
to a movie. I don't know what movie we went to. It doesn't matter. Anyways, we sit down, and there's an adult couple, like probably mid-20s or early 30s, sitting behind us. Or the woman was sitting behind me, and the man was sitting next to her. So we were kind of staggered.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
So
yeah.
no one was sitting behind Nathan. And she kicked my seat the whole fucking
A
movie.
grown woman?
Yes. And I was like, okay.
Did you turn around and say anything?
No.
What?
But I was like, because it wasn't like constant. It was just like,
Was it like a tapping or was it like a kick?
no, it was like, well, I don't know if she was, I don't know, understand like if she was doing it on purpose or whatever, but it was so
She
fucking
just
annoying.
Saw you come in and is just
Yeah.
like, fuck you.
And I'm just like,
Wait, did you guys get the seats first?
well, see, with movies now, have you been to a movie in a while?
Yeah, I've been to movies, yeah.
You have to pick your seat when you get the ticket.
Yeah.
So
But it
we
tells
just-
you which ones are open though and which ones are not.
Oh, I don't remember looking at the thing and thinking, okay, there's people behind us. Like, we looked at the open seats. Oh, we'll pick these two, and then whatever got them
But did they come in after you or before you?
before they were there.
Oh, so you just sat right in front of them.
But those were our seats.
Those are the ones you picked. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, like,
We could have moved.
No. So, like, one of the things that, like, how empty was the movie theater? Was it kind of packed? Not really.
Well, we were going to move because we were the only people in our row for a while, and I was like, "Okay, we'll move like in a little bit." But then the movie started, and we had our popcorn and our winter jackets, and I just felt like I don't want to be annoying and like cause a ruckus now that the movie has started.
Okay.
Because we wanted to wait to make sure that nobody else was going to come, so that we weren't taking their seats.
Okay. See, yeah, this is
So
what
then we
makes it
just toughed it
confusing.
out.
I totally understand. Sam, like, he's a big movie guy.
Mm-hmm.
His pet peeve is when it's an empty movie theater and 2 people sit right in front of you.
Oh, I
And
fucking hate that too.
well, that's kind of what you did. But in your defense, though, I do understand, because now that they make you pick your seats because of the COVID thing,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know who's gonna come into this theater
Right,
and how
because
many more
sometimes
people.
there's like
yeah.
a group of 5, and
Totally.
then it makes you look like the asshole that like
Exactly.
you didn't sit in your seats, blah
Mm-hmm.
blah blah.
So the safe option is to just like sit where you're supposed to sit.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that, like, even if it's an empty movie theater, it's like, oh, there are so many people who show up during the first like credits, the opening credits and stuff
Yeah,
for the movie.
and the movie was definitely busy. Like, we bought our tickets before we even got to the theater. We bought them in the afternoon
Okay.
because we knew it would be busy.
It'd be a decently busy movie.
Yeah. Anyways.
But yeah. Okay, moving on. Next one comes from wait, which one's the one that we okay, yeah. Next one comes from Responsible Ad 6103. You're going to hate this one.
Okay.
You might have a story or two about this. Coughing or sneezing without covering their mouths.
I don't really have any. Oh,
well, you're a nurse. Yeah, I'm like you should have stories about this.
This isn't nursing related.
Oh.
Because at work, I just expect that people are going to do that.
Do they?
Cough in your face?
No. I thought you were saying you expect that people cough into their arms at work.
No, I just expect that people cough everywhere because they're gross.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Whatever. It doesn't.
That is so sad that you've just accepted defeat. You're just like.
Anyways, I have a story. I don't think I've told this on the podcast before, but this isn't nursing related. This is grade 6 for me.
Oh.
So it's grade 6. We get a seating plan and.
Oh, the seating plan.
The seating plan was just a line, like a row. One row.
Yeah, okay.
Every kid is sat side by side. There's no spaces in between.
There's no groupings.
There's no groupings. It's one line and everybody is facing the front.
Okay.
So there's like a lot of room at the back of the classroom.
Oh, every student was in this one line?
Yes.
What?
Or maybe we had to cut it into two lines.
Yeah,
I don't remember how many people.
Yeah.
But this is Lanigan. Like there wasn't very many kids in the class.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're sitting there and this kid that's sitting next to me that was definitely not the most hygienic sneezed and I felt something wet on my arm. Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm just yeah. I'm listening.
And felt something wet on my arm, looked down, and a big green glob of snot.
That is so disgusting.
Flung onto my arm. And I remember looking at it and being like,
not on the podcast.
Oh my God. So I ran to the bathroom, scrubbed my arm with so much soap and water. But like,
did the kid even like care?
I don't know. Honestly, I just remember that. Like, I blacked everything else out.
It was so traumatizing. You had to black it all out.
Yeah.
You see it in flashes.
And there's a couple things. Like, one, cover your mouth, cover your nose, whatever, when you're sneezing or coughing. Because that's disgusting. 2.
Coming from the woman who accepts defeat. And doesn't bother to tell people that when she's at work.
How many of us sitting side by side with no space in between? Like, that's gross.
That's gross.
There's not even any elbow room. Whatever. Let's move on.
That's disgusting. Have you ever seen somebody, this is a comment, but have you ever seen someone wear a mask and pull their mask down to sneeze into their arm?
No.
I've seen it at airports. It's so bizarre. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. It's like somebody will like sneeze or cough or something and they'll pull their mask down to do it in their arm. It's like a force of habit, I think, for some people because they're so used to sneezing or coughing in their arms. So I think that and especially for older folks when they've been doing that for 20 years or something, 30 years or even more than that. So it becomes this force of habit that, you know, if there's something's on their face, they'll take it off. Like think about it. If you were wearing like a balaclava or something or like a neck warmer, like I guess we're from Canada, so that it's something we wear out here. But you know, if you wouldn't just sneeze into your neck warmer, you know what I mean? Like most of the time you might pull it down, sneeze into your arm so it doesn't get all nasty and gross and wet in there.
Right.
But with the masking thing, it's like, I don't know, like I've seen so many people just like pull it down, sneeze into their arm and then put their mask back on during COVID.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't really know how to feel about that, I guess, because if you don't have another mask, then...
Yeah, do you really want to get your mask all snotty and stuff?
Then it's going to be wet and stuff inside. And it stinks. Like, it's your breath and stuff that's in there.
It's actually so surprising. Like, breath, like, you really get checked for your breath when you wear a mask.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually disgusting.
I honestly don't even notice it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I guess you have to wear a mask all the time. Yeah. Even before COVID.
Okay.
Dart Doug says, I got into a verbal altercation with a guy who was on his exercise bike next to me at the gym. He was coughing up a storm and making no effort to cover his mouth. Me. You know kindergartens know how to cover their mouths when they cough. Cougher. I don't come here to get lectured. Me. I don't come here to get sick. Guy got off the bike and walked away in a huff. Years later, a guy walked up to me and asked if I remembered him. I had no idea who he was. I'm the guy who you told to cover my mouth when I coughed. He was holding a grudge against me for 3+ years.
What the fuck?
LOL.
How would he remember him?
Like, and that's the thing, is that must have been important for him enough to be like,
that was clearly
you
traumatizing.
Fucking asshole, fucking telling me how to cough. Like, what a stupid thing to
Wow.
like to
hold against somebody.
Remember that. But again, if he is the aggressor in that situation, right? Like, he probably would hold a grudge if he's the type of guy to cough all over the place.
Yeah, true.
I mean, this is kind of a stupid story, but I remember it was like the summer of 2021, maybe. That was when all the vaccines started coming out and stuff.
Okay.
And I was at the gym, and the gym still had masks, but like at this gym, it's the gym I'm talking about, the Snap on the East side.
Mm-hmm.
It's a workout gym, that's a pretty consistent group of people that go there. And I just like, I run on the treadmill. That's just something I do as part of my workouts. And for months, and like even the guy who works there, this is like my bad, but this is a stupid thing, but maybe I was being arrogant here. But for months, like all the people there, like the people who work there were like, no, it's no big deal if you pull your mask down below your face. It's a gym. Like, people are getting vaccines now, it's whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was clearly like, I always try to take the last treadmill in the row.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I would never just take the middle treadmill. You never do that, And so I'm just sprinting on this treadmill. The lady picks the one right beside me. And like, there is another one you could use. Picks the one right beside me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sprinting, like, and I've got my mask below my nose because I need to breathe. And then she runs for a little bit and looks over at me, glares at me, and I'm like, I just keep running. And then she kind of taps me and she goes, can you pull your mask up? I'm like, really? Like, you chose the treadmill right next to me.
Yeah.
There's 2 other treadmills that you could go and run on, but you chose this one, and then you're gonna tell me to put my mask up. Like,
Yeah,
I guess in her defense, I should have, like, technically that's the rule.
Right.
But socially, implicitly, not necessarily.
Yeah. Okay, there's one here. This is from Lazy Enthusiast 16. Leaving their shopping carts out in the middle of the parking lot rather than taking the cart to those designated spots the store puts out.
That one is
I just find that disrespectful. Like, if you took the cart, just put it back.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, there's multiple spots in the parking lot for this. Put it back.
I don't understand the thought process in leaving it behind. I don't understand that. Like what are you thinking in that moment? Like, are you just assuming that's like, oh, it's somebody's job to go and pick this up? Like, that's just what they do. It's like, that's their job. It's like, what do you mean? The huts for the shopping carts are literally there for a purpose. Like, they're there for a reason. Put them away.
Yep. This is from Logical Rip 8138. People not washing their hands in a public restroom after using it. I work in a store and see this often. Disgusting.
That's fucking gross.
I don't know how people, like, oh, that's, yeah.
I don't like, where do you learn that behavior too? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you're seriously gonna, like, touch the most disgusting parts of your body, parts that carry, like, diseases, and then you're just gonna go out and just not do anything about it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I find that revolting. Like, isn't that, this is people, you don't even have to live in a home, like, and like grow up in like a house to know that that's something that you should do, and that's like proper etiquette. They teach you that in school. They literally teach you that in school. Like, I want to meet the parents who they tell their kids, yeah, you don't need to wash your hands.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's like, really? Have you ever heard of the Black Plague? Like, have you ever heard of the bubonic plague before? Have you ever heard of, mass disease? Have you ever heard of COVID-19? The fact that that's literally the number one way that viruses and bacteria spreads is through contact with hands and being unhygienic. Like, I read something recently that was like, like people were thinking that like there's a common misconception that rats were like one of the main reasons why the plague started.
Okay.
And rats played a part, but it wasn't always rats. But the bigger thing was the fact that there was no hygiene amongst humans. They said that if at that time, even if the rats had spread the disease, if people were consistently washing their hands and using like, you know, and being cleanly and stuff, that it would have prevented it from the disease from spreading. But it was the fact that people had no knowledge of washing their hands and taking it. Like the very first doctor, he was like a Austrian doctor or something like that, who invented the modern hand washing method for surgeries and stuff. The doctors previous to that, to him in those surgeries, had ridiculed him, saying it was there was no purpose. There had no point in cleaning your hands before you did open surgery on a person.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he ended up, of course, going down in infamy because obviously you should wash your hands. People didn't understand bacteria, right? People didn't understand like microscopic organisms that can cause disease and viruses and stuff.
I have a couple here. This is from Tiny Butt Toucher. Standing too close behind me in line. It will not make the line move faster, I promise.
Yeah, it's
an uncomfortable feeling.
It is a weird feeling. And it's like, especially when there's no need to stand that close. It's weird. It makes you feel like somebody is like there's like a hitman after you or something. You know what I mean? It feels like someone's about to attack you or something. There's a reason why you have that defense mechanism, right? If we were meant to just stand right next to each other, then we would think that would be normal.
Right.
But the fact is that we have this immediate like sense of
this
why
is
are
weird.
you so close to me? Like, are you gonna fucking slit my throat?
And it's not like I don't want you breathing on me thing. It's like I don't know you.
I know.
Like, you're standing way too close to me.
Well, that's the
okay.
scary part too. It's like I feel like they're gonna kill me or something. Like I feel like they've got a like a vendetta out for me or something. Like it's an unnatural, unnerving feeling. Like I don't care if somebody I know stands close to me, but it's when somebody that I don't know, like a total and complete stranger.
Here's another one from a maid a leer beer. I don't know. I really hate when people talk on the phone in a public bathroom and it's on speaker. Someone comments, just start flushing repeatedly.
This is airports. This happens at airports all the time.
It blows my mind that if you're going to the bathroom in a single stall and you're on the phone with somebody having a conversation, like you can't tell me this can't wait.
Yeah, and like, is the bathroom really the greatest place to have like an important conversation? Like, I wouldn't even necessarily say a bathroom is a quiet place. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh my God. There's this like, so at one of the hotels that I work at, there's this one, you go to the bathroom and there's this one toilet that if you flush it, it is ear piercingly loud. Like it goes it is. Like, it shocks me every time because I'll be on my phone and I've literally dropped my phone because of it. I'll be on my phone and then I'll like hit the button or something with my elbow and then it'll be like, shh. I'll freak out because it's so freaking loud.
This is from Royal False. Drivers not using turn signals. I always hope those people suffer a major inconvenience.
Did you ever see the memes where it's like BMW drivers using the signal for the first time? And it's like they're signaling right, but they drive into the left lane.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's just like a meme where BMW drivers are just like the classic people who don't signal when they're driving. It's like if you see someone not signaling, it's like 9 times out of 10 they're driving a BMW.
Wow, I'll have to pay attention for that now. One of them from Bongela Scott is picking their nose and eating it. Is that a thing?
That feels archaic.
As an adult, like, do people actually do that?
Well, the thing is, though, is at what point, kids do that, right?
Little kids, yeah.
Yeah. At what point, though, does that behavior not, like, at what point does that behavior stop? Like, where? Because I've never been someone who does that before. So So when we're
You've
saying
never seen a kid do it?
no, I've never been a kid that does it. So I don't know when the kids who did it, when they stop. You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna go that, like, at least up until the point where you're that little and you do that, and no one corrects you, like, I could definitely see people being an adult and just doing that. Oh, I don't even understand. Why would you even want to eat it?
I know.
It's disgusting. It's so gross. It's like, really? This is why? Ew. Like I don't look in the toilet and I'm like, yo.
There's lots of comments here from different accounts talking about spitting.
Oh.
Which I think spitting in public is just spitting is so disgusting.
I can sometimes be guilty of that, to be honest.
What?
Not while we're just walking, but like,
I understand, like, for people who run outside
like
and stuff.
I'm running, like I have asthma,
it creates
right?
that.
So I get a lot of mucus when I'm running, and I don't want to swallow it while I'm running. So
Right.
if I get mucus coming up, then I have to spit it out. I have to. I can't not spit it out. But that's only because of my particular condition.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't say that if I didn't have asthma, I don't think I would be doing that. But it's only because of that I get, this is disgusting, but I get wads of mucus come up through my respiratory system. So I have to, like, I'm not going to swallow that. I'm not going to swallow that.
Okay, this isn't on here, but it just reminded me of it. I'll give this back to you. It really annoys me when the plane lands and people immediately stand up. I get it if you have a connecting flight right away.
Yes.
In those situations when that happens, I think that they should be announcing on the plane, passengers, blah, 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 come to the front of the plane, come off. Because it unfortunately like makes you look like an asshole without, even though, like, you're trying, like, you have a connecting flight, you actually do have to get off.
Even if you have a connecting flight, tell the people around you at least.
And
you know?
yeah, that has
Some
happened.
people just march through and they don't tell anyone, and it's just like.
But I don't understand when literally, like, the plane lands and people are standing up. It is not going to make us get off any faster that you're standing up.
Especially if you're like the back of the plane.
Yes, people at the back of the plane, and then they just go forward, and it's like, have some common courtesy here.
I know.
And let the people in front of you get off first.
This happened to me not too long ago. This was, I think, maybe on my flight in the summertime or sometime during then. We landed, exact same thing happened. Everyone gets up. This one chick. So we ended up having to stay on the plane for a couple minutes because they couldn't get the thing, but everyone is standing up. Of course, I don't stand up during that sort of stuff because I, of course, think it's dumb. But, like, most people, or a decent amount of people on the plane, are standing up, and this one lady, while we are clearly no one's exiting the plane, no one, not even the people in the front, no one's exiting the plane. She is coming from a couple seats behind me and is just barging her way through people, and she gets to the guy who's, like, in front of me, and she kind of hits him, but he doesn't really move because he's a little bit of a bigger guy, like, not overweight or anything, but he's just he's a tall, large fellow. And she kind of bumps him, and he kind of looks. And when he turns, his body kind of fills up the thing, and he's like, he kind of looks at her like, and he was like, you're not getting past me. Like, he
said that?
Yeah. He's
good.
like, you need to, like, chill the fuck out. He said that to her. He was like, you need to chill out. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I know, she immediately backtracked on. That's what pissed me off. Is she wasn't even confrontational. She immediately was like, oh, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's what I found interesting. I was excited to travel with Nathan for the first time, like, on a plane, because
when did you guys go on a plane?
In the summer to Calgary for a wedding.
Oh.
But I was like, it's going to be interesting to see how you travel, because when you're traveling with someone, you might know someone really well, but the travel version of them is like a disaster. Anyways, all was fine. He followed all my
I hate the people.
all my silent rules. Like that, not like standing up right away.
No, I hate the people who who just get unnecessarily nervous and anxious. That makes me mad. It's like you know what I mean? Like it's like security is not that big of a deal. Like
I hate security.
But it's people who
causes me anxiety.
I know it causes you anxiety, but it's people who get unnecessarily like overly anxious.
Have you seen this?
Yes, I've seen this, and it's
What
cramps my
happens?
vibe. It's like relax, like it's not that big of a deal. Like and people, it's like they just, you can see the stress and they're fidgety. It's like your stress is stressing everyone out right now. This is not that big of a deal. You are not an international drug smuggler. You know what I mean? You're not a fucking mule. Nobody dropped cocaine in the back of your bag.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're fine. Like we are literally, our flight is in 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to get through security. Oh my goodness. I've traveled with some people like this before. It's,
Like friends?
yeah, and honestly, even just people I've been around. I guess I've never traveled with them before, but I've been in the airport, and these people are being loud and anxious.
Okay.
And it's like, dude, you're freaking everyone out here. Like, relax. It is not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they get double security checked.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, see, airport security doesn't bother me much anymore because I travel with so much audio equipment and stuff that I always get double checked, like every single time. So it doesn't, and it's just like, and most of the time they see what's in my bag. They just kind of take a peek and whatever, because they understand this microphone is not a bomb. You know what I mean? It's just like, clearly I'm 21 years old, you know?
Yeah. Do we have time for just a few more, and then
I think, yeah, I did sorting.
Okay.
But okay, let's see. People get under your skin in public. Okay, guys, so for the last little bit here on the podcast, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to read from True Off My Chest, just to, you know, switch it up and, you know, read off of a different subreddit. Just to see, give our thoughts and, you know, react to what's going on here on Reddit, because that's what we do. We read and react to comments on Reddit. So this one is posted by Of Christmas Disaster. This comes from True Off My Chest. Cousin's gift, quote unquote gift, ruined Christmas and possibly my relationship. I come from a big family. Our holidays involve extended family like second cousins, etc. My fiance and I are in our mid-20s, and there are a lot of cousins in their 20s and 30s. Last night we had our big Christmas party. It was fun to see everyone until it was time to exchange presents. My cousin Anna, not her real name, hands out pink envelopes to all the 20s and 30s men who have married/dated into the family. My fiancé received one and quickly put it in his pocket after opening it. I was distracted opening my gifts and didn't ask to look. About 20 minutes later, my cousin Rachel, again, not real name, pulls me aside and says Anna is giving out cards with instructions on how to get a discount subscription to her OnlyFans. Rachel's boyfriend got one of the pink cards and showed Rachel because he was weirded out. I'm pissed at this point because I suspect my fiance's card also has an OnlyFans discount. So I asked to talk with him, and he denies getting a card from Anna. I tell him, I saw her hand you one, and I watched you put it in your pocket. I go to grab his pocket, and he suddenly remembers getting a card, but claims he didn't open it. I take it from him, and of course, it's already opened, and of course, it's about fucking OnlyFans. I go back inside to confront Anna and find her already arguing with a different cousin who was upset because her husband had already tried looking at Anna's page.
Holy.
Oh my God. It cuts right to the chase, eh? Anna claims she's just trying to get her business off the ground. This is at a family function. And no one appreciates all the hard work and skills it takes to be successful in her digital career.
Wow.
She says her gift is not sexual. It's just marketing. Some of the older relatives are starting to take sides too because they're mostly really confused about what's going on. Anna's mom started crying because of something I said, and my mom tried to get me to apologize, which pissed me off even more. At this point, I leave with, no, you need to apologize because it's not right for you to be mad that your boyfriend wanted to look at your cousin's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
At this point, I leave with my brother and his husband because I don't want to spend the night with my fiance at home. Fiance? Like, I don't feel like going with my parents when my mom is pressuring me to apologize. Oh, and surprise, surprise, Anna didn't give my brother's... sorry. Anna didn't give my brother's husband a card. So make of that what you will about the intent behind her gift. I am seriously considering calling off the engagement over this, and I'm pissed at my cousin for ruining both Christmas and my relationship.
Wow, that's tough.
That's got to be the worst gift. That is not a gift. Who gives out something like a sexual gift on
At a Christmas?
And your family? Like, you don't think maybe that is like something maybe you should give out at a...
I think it's weird that it's a cousin too. Like, it's her family.
Well, no, she said she gave them out to all the cousins, like husbands of cousins.
I know, but it's his fiance's cousin.
No.
Is it not?
Her cousin. Her fiance isn't related.
No, I know her. Okay. It's like
So-
one of our cousins gives Nathan an
Yes.
OnlyFans
Yes.
to her.
Yes.
But it's my cousin.
Yeah.
So he's seeing my cousin's half naked body.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that's where she's trying to take advantage because they're not related. So it'd be
Right.
weird if like I gave my cousin
No, yeah,
if I gave Xander a subscription to my OnlyFans.
Right.
That would be very weird. But it is true. The intent behind the gift is of course something sexual because she didn't give it to her gay cousin. Like her gay cousin's husband.
Right.
So there is an intent, right? There must be like I don't understand. That's like that is not a Christmas gift. A discount on your OnlyFans page. Like okay, that's just like how about I own a mechanic shop and for a Christmas gift I give you a discount
to my business.
To my business.
Yeah, that's
like that to me that's a terrible gift.
it is a
That
terrible
is a terrible gift. Not only am I not going to give you a free tune-up or a free oil change on your car, I'm just going to give you 20% discount.
Yeah.
I'll give you 20%. Whole family gets 20% off.
Oh my
Not
God.
even a free oil change. But yeah, that's pretty messed up.
That is. Okay, we'll read one more.
One more. So this one's pretty intense here.
Okay.
Coming from aggravating Sky 6514, having a miscarriage is not the same as losing a teenager. My son died in October at the age of 15. My life has completely fallen apart since then, and I've never been in a lower place. I want to die, but I can't put my dad through the same thing I'm going through. Whenever someone I know, whether it's family, coworkers, friends, anyone, finds out about what happened, they obviously start telling me how they are sorry for my loss, which is fine. They're being nice. But so many people have continued that conversation with, I get how you feel. I had a miscarriage a few years back, and I was depressed for a while after that.
Oh, no.
Look, I know miscarriages are sad, but my son wasn't a fucking fetus. He had interests, a personality, a sense of humor. He was a fully fledged person. A fetus never had the opportunity to become a person in the same way a 15-year-old did. I don't care if this makes me an asshole. A miscarriage is not the same thing as losing a teenager. Not even close. I had to sit through my cousin telling me about her miscarriage for 10 minutes this afternoon during Christmas lunch, and I listened. I thanked her for her condolences. I didn't say anything about how unfair that comparison is because I love her, but I wanted to scream at her. Just say that you're sorry for my loss and move on. I don't want you to talk about it or your miscarriage, especially not during Christmas lunch. This is the thing. I feel like it
so
gives people an
sad.
opportunity to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
And in times like that, people just want another person to listen. They don't want to be compared to...
Oh, I know how you feel. Let me tell you
Yeah.
about my traumatic experience. Maybe
Right.
how's that going to help?
No. Yeah, they just want support. That's super unfortunate.
And the thing is, like, yeah, no one is saying that a miscarriage isn't a sad event. No one is saying that's something, but it is entirely different to lose somebody who is like a 15-year-old person.
Yeah.
Like that person has been around for 15 years. That is a long time, okay? 15 years is a very long time. Not only have you watched that person grow up from when they were a baby to how old they are for 15 years to where they are now, but now that person and all of what they have, built up to themselves in their life is all gone now, And that's like that is not the same as a miscarriage.
No.
But yeah, I feel like it is just like, could you imagine just have someone be like, "Oh, I know how you feel. I had a miscarriage."
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
devastating.
Like, Really? Do you honestly think that's like even close to what I'm experiencing right now? Like, I don't even think like how could somebody even think that that would be like a comparable thing? I don't understand what the logic is in that.
Yeah, that they would actually say something.
Yeah, or like it's like, oh yeah, like,
And you don't even you wouldn't even have to relate it to that. You could just be like, all you would have to say is like, I'm sorry for your loss, or like, my condolences, whatever. Grief and dealing with loss is never easy. Because you have dealt with grief and loss in a very
you could
different
even
way,
say that
though.
you had a miscarriage, and you could preface it by saying, I know it's not the same as losing your son, but when I had a miscarriage, I experienced deep loss and grief, and you know what I mean? Like I know it's not the same as losing your son, and you must be feeling something so much worse than what I did.
Right.
But I know how deep grief and loss feels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's all you really have to say. You can talk about what your experience was, but don't compare your experience. You offer your experience.
I know how you feel.
Yes.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. It's like, I know how it feels to experience this, not to the same extent that you do, I'm sure, but I know how loss feels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even if your uncle died or something recently, somebody you were really close with in your life, oh, my uncle just passed away, we were so close over the years, you know what I mean? That's been hard for me too. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not saying I understand how, like I know how you feel, but everyone feels loss, right?
Yeah.
But it's when you start comparing the loss and saying like, oh yeah, like, this loss is clearly, equivalent to what you were experiencing, which is obviously not true.
Right. Okay, let's end on a happy note.
All right, last one here is coming from r/relationship advice from it's just a throwaway account. My 23 female boyfriend, 22 male, suddenly becomes sick whenever I'm sick, and it's driving me insane. The title pretty much says it all. We've been together for 2 years, and every single time I become sick, my boyfriend starts complaining about being so much sicker than me. For example, when I had my tonsillitis, he suddenly was dying from tonsillitis. When I had a UTI, he's suddenly dying from a UTI. Did dudes even get UTIs like that?
Very rarely.
Yeah. Every single time I get better, he magically gets better too. I got very sick on the 23rd of this month and have been in bed for all of Christmas. I'm really upset over missing the holiday, and I can't even complain about it to him. And now he's suddenly dying sick with the same thing, but somehow it's worse. This virus has had me bedbound for 4 days, and he went out last night drinking and is currently going to work. What? But insists he is just as sick as me. How can I get him to stop? This is driving me mad. Break up.
He sounds like a fucking loser.
What the heck? Like, trying to one up you because of
You're
being
sick?
Oh my God. How this is somebody who has just the most massive issues with insecurity I've ever seen in my life. Oh, you're sick? Oh, I'm worse.
Yeah.
Like,
how belittling.
The sniffles? Oh, well, I just puked.
That would be
Oh, you have diarrhea?
so
I just
annoying.
shit my pants.
Yeah.
Like, uncontrollably right now.
That would be so irritating.
The UTI thing is bullshit too. You know it's UTI because...
And tonsillitis.
What is tonsillitis?
It's inflammation of your tonsils.
Is that what you had and then you had to get them out, or?
No, I didn't have to get them, or I didn't get them out because of that, but it's not...
Is tonsillitis something you can catch?
I honestly don't even know because I never had it. But let me look. So it says tonsillitis is not contagious, but most of the infections that cause it are, for example, colds and the flu. But
yeah, but you'd more likely to get a cold or a flu than tonsillitis.
Right. Yeah, can you give someone... Oh, it says you can spread tonsillitis through kissing.
Yeah, but
like,
I
guess that would be like the cold sickness.
Yeah, like...
Anyways, that's bullshit for him.
I don't even understand, like, what's the motivation there? Like, why do you want to be sicker than your
partner.
Like, I don't understand. Like, where does that even come from? Like, it's a feeling of, like, I don't know, inferiority, but in what way? You're sick. How does being sick... Like, I can understand, like, if, like, you're like, you might feel a sense of inferiority, and you might have to feel like you have to compete with your... I'm not saying this is okay, but I'm saying I can understand how some people have the situation in which they feel inadequate, in which maybe their partner makes more money than them or something at some sort of job, so they feel like they have to one up their partner, and so obviously you should still break up in that case as well. But I feel like that's more logically understandable.
I'm not understanding the sickness part. Like,
I know, me neither.
Who wants to be sick? Who would want that?
Do you think it's because he doesn't want to care for her when she's sick?
I was thinking about that.
Because if he's sicker, then he would be like,
can't do anything for her.
Exactly. It'd be like, well, you're not as sick as me, so
I can't.
But
go
we
to
don't
the
have
store
that.
and get
We
you that.
don't have that information though. I don't think she told us. So,
was there any updates?
well, she has an edit here, so let's read the edit. I need to make something clear. This has been the happiest relationship of my life. Really?
Debatable.
I want to know what your other relationships were like.
Yeah.
He doesn't run from the hills when I get sick. He simply tells me he's also feeling off within 24 hours of me saying so. He's a hypochondriac that thinks that after getting the same illness that I have, and it's driving me nuts. He goes above and beyond in every other aspect of a relationship. I just want a simple way to explain to him that it's annoying Explain to him that it's annoying. It's annoying me where I don't look unsympathetic. I currently have a chest infection. He thinks he's got one after me as well. There's no need to call me a naive child because I don't want to break up with him over an issue that annoys me. I feel like, how are you ever going to get used to this, though? Like, there's no unsympathetic way to say this. Like,
unless he stops doing this will continue to be an issue.
And how do you say this unsympathetically? Hey, I want you to stop pretending that you're being sicker than me. Like, and then like you're never going to get a response out of him that he is going to respond calmly.
Especially if he's a hypochondriac.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like he needs therapy.
Yeah, this is deeper. This is an issue you can't solve. This is an issue you can't solve with just a conversation.
No.
This is something that, if you guys go to group therapy together, if you guys do a relationship therapy, within the first 15 minutes, he's gonna be like, my mother. You know what I mean? Like, he's just gonna start breaking down about something. You're gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, this is a problem I definitely have no tools to solve.
Correct.
I think if you dug a little bit deeper, you'd find some issues there.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't really sound like he's making her care for him. It just sounds like he's just copying her sickness. It feels so grade school. It feels so like, you're sick? I'm sick too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
my dad's stronger than yours.
Yeah,
my dad's smarter than yours.
But see, that's the thing, is that's going up. This is like going down. It's like, oh, I sprained my ankle. Oh yeah, well, I broke my femur. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, why do you want to break your femur? Like, you know what I mean? Is that something that you really want to do? Like, I don't know. I guess the kids in school sometimes look cool with the cast and everybody signed it, but I don't know.
Silly.
Okay, let's wrap it up here for today, folks. So, thank you, Elena, for coming on to the
Thank you for
podcast.
Having me.
It's fun to have more than one person on. So, if you guys are watching on YouTube, remember to like, remember to comment, and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, make sure to leave us a rating, and also please leave us a review. You can find us if you have something to comment under this episode or any of the other episodes, comment it under the most recent episode, and I will read that comment out loud on the following next episode.
Was there any comments to read for this week?
No, just Vortex making fun of me. But when there's a comment that
who's Vortex?
He's my super fan.
Oh, the one that listens to every episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when there's something that he doesn't have like a story for, he just comments like your mom or something. I know. So I'm just like, I tend to not read those ones out because he's just making fun of me. But I take those out. Don't worry, Vortex. I take the L. But anyways, and it's not that I don't think it's not funny, because I do think it's funny. It's just I don't think that I have to read that out every other week.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, I've been your host, Luke Dick, and I'm here with my sister, Elena.
Hi.
Hi. So thanks a lot for tuning into the show, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace out.
Bye.